Everyone, so let's continue with our part 3 of the Math 9 Term 1 test. Okay, so again, our source here is from thepetclub.com. Part 1 and 2 is already posted. Okay, so again, this is not the exact test that you will have. So these are just multiple choice practice questions lang po. Okay, 31. You are designing a verification test that will guarantee an unknown quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Which plan provides sufficient evidence? Okay, so again, for parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent, diagonals bisect each other, opposite angles are congruent. Okay, so we'll go with letter C. Measure both diagonals and show that each is divided into two congruent segments at their intersection. 32. Which property is guaranteed for the diagonals of a rectangle? Okay, so again, diagonals for a rectangle po are congruent. 33. Which property is guaranteed for diagonals of a rhombus? Okay, so for rhombus naman po, they are perpendicular. So again, rectangle congruent kapag rhombus ay perpendicular. 34. Which statement is always true about a square? Okay, so for our square, that is both a rhombus and a rectangle. Letter D. 35. A square has diagonals that are both congruent and perpendicular. What does this show about properties of a special parallelogram? Okay, so a special parallelogram can satisfy more than one valid diagonal property at the same time. 36. The diagonals of a rectangle measure 5x plus 3 centimeters and 7x minus 11. What is x? Okay, so again, for the diagonals of a rectangle po, they are congruent. So it means 5x plus 3 is congruent with 7x minus 11. So we get 5x minus 7x is equal to negative 11 minus 3. So we get negative 2x equals negative 14. So our x is equal to positive 7. Letter C. Okay, 37. A rhombus has side length of 14 centimeters. What is its perimeter? So again, for a rhombus po, they have congruent sides. So we just need to multiply this by 4. 14 times 4, we get 56. Letter C. Okay, so again, perimeter is the sum of all sides. 38. A diagonal of a rhombus bisects at 76 degrees vertex angle. What is the measure of each resulting angle? Okay, so bisect, it means it halves. So you just need to divide po 76 by 2. Okay, so 76 divided by 2, that is 38. Okay, again, bisects po ay 1/2. 39. A learner says the diagonals of this rectangle must be perpendicular because all parallelograms have perpendicular diagonals. Which analysis is correct? Okay, so that is incorrect. Because hindi po lahat ay perpendicular. So the statement is incorrect because perpendicular diagonals are not general parallelogram property and are not guaranteed for every rectangle. Okay, 40. A square has side length 9 centimeters. A learner reports its perimeter as 36 centimeters and its area is 81 centimeters squared. Which evaluation is correct? Square, so kapag area that is side squared, so 9 squared is 81. When it's perimeter times 4, so 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, so that is both correct. Letter A. 41. You are creating a problem that specifically requires the special property of a rectangle rather than only a general parallelogram property. Which problem is best? Okay, so they're referring with the property po, special properties. Again, kapag special property, it depends on the diagonal. So your answer should either be C or D. Okay, mas appropriate po si C. The diagonal measure 4x plus 7 and 6x minus 5. Find x. 42. What does CPCTC means? Okay, so CPCT means po consecutive parts of congruent triangles are complementary. Not complementary, congruent. Consecutive parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Congruent, congruent. CPCTC. Corresponding congruent triangles are congruent. 43. In a geometric proof, what is a theorem? A theorem po is a statement proved using definitions, postulates, or previously established results. 44. Why must triangle congruence be established before using CPCTC? Because it applies only after the triangle have been shown to be congruent. Ayan. So, kailangan ma-prove nyo muna na congruent yung triangle. 45. In parallelogram ABCD, side AD acts as a transversal of parallel lines AB and CD. Why are the consecutive interangles along AD are supplementary? Okay, so same side again, that is supplementary po. So same side interangles formed by parallel lines and a transversal sum to 180. Basta nasa same side. 46. A learner measures two opposite sides of a drawn parallelogram and find both to be 6 centimeters. Why is measurement alone not a complete proof that opposite sides of a parallelogram or every parallelogram are congruent? Okay, so a single drawing provides an example, not a logical argument, that the property holds for all parallelograms. So, ayan. Yung property niya is not applicable for all parallelogram. 47. In a proof, triangle BAC is congruent with triangle DCA, which conclusion follows directly CPCTC. Okay, so it can be BA is congruent with DC. Not parallel. It depends on the measurement po mismo. Or which sides or angles are congruent. Since CPCTC again ay corresponding triangles are congruent. 48. A learner tries to prove that opposite sides of parallelogram ABCD are congruent. So we have AB is parallel with CD and BC is parallel with AD because ABCD is a parallelogram. AB is congruent with CD because opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent. Therefore, the triangles formed by diagonal AC are congruent. Hence, AB is congruent with CD by CPCTC. What is the main flow in the proof? Okay, so they were assuming the property being proved before establishing triangle congruence. Ayan. So, state mo na sila ng mga sides that are congruent or yung parts po ng ating parallelogram that are congruent. And 49, a student proof establishes that two triangles formed by a diagonal of a parallelogram are congruent. The student then concludes that a pair of opposite sides is congruent but gives no reason. Which revision best completes the proof? Add by CPCTC after the conclusion. Okay, so lagi pong yun yung last. And last one. You're planning a valid proof that the diagonals of a parallelogram ABCD bisect each other at E. Which sequence is best? Okay, use parallel sides to establish appropriate angle relationship. Use a proof opposite side relationship to establish triangle congruence. Then use CPCTC to show AE is congruent with CE and BA is congruent with DE. Okay. There, so this will be our last part of review for Math 9. Ayan, so good luck everyone for your review. Thank you.